What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be continuing to show you how to make Indigo Park Chapter 1 in Minecraft. This is part 12, and in this one, we're going to be doing this entire room, the skunk room, and also getting this kind of little maintenance area started, at least. We get all the way up to here with the detailing, and we do get the other room laid out. But anyway, that is all. So with that being said, enjoy the tutorial, and I will catch you on the flip side. Alrighty, so to start off, you want to get out the following materials. Brown terracotta, green concrete, I was like, I don't even know what to grab in what order. Gray terracotta, mangrove wood. You could technically use logs, it doesn't really make a difference, but I always use wood just because. Light blue concrete, unless of course I need the log end, then I would use logs. Not just kidding, that was what we just got. Cyan terracotta, I was gonna say light blue again. Stripped warped hyphae. Block of coal, and we'll just go with polished deep slate for now. We won't need that for long, but... So we're gonna do one wall at a time as we did for, I guess, Molly's room it would have been. And we're going to start with the right side. So, from this black concrete, you want to start by extending back with 11 brown terracotta. You'll then want an upward facing mangrove wood, a brown terracotta. Then behind that you would have 2 polished deep set in the floor, and then what should be 4 more brown terracotta? Not in the floor behind that, and it should end in line with the last dark prismarine. Again, we're not going to build the corner because there's no point. Although I guess if you wanted to use polished deep slate and kind of just frame it, you can. We'll continue to go right to left on top of this row. And for this next one, you want to start with 2 light blue concrete, 3 green. Again, I'm not going to specify the type of block. I'm just going to specify color. 2 light blue, 2 green, 2 light blue, mangrove, brown. You'll then skip over this gap of 2 and place 2 green, and then 2 brown. Next row, again, we are going right to left each time. You're going to start with basically light blue until you're on, well, not on top of the mangrove, I guess 2 shorter than it. I can give you the number, I just don't know it off the top of my head. It'd be 10 light blue. Then a mangrove wood, light blue, green. You'll then skip over the gap, 2 brown, and what should just be 2 green. A lot of this you may not even see because of rocks, so that is another reason I'm struggling. I have to be in spectator so I can see both sides of the wall. Next row, you're going to start with a brown, 4 light blue, 2 brown, then 3 light blue, mangrove, 3 light blue again, green, and then what should just be 4 brown to finish off the row. The next row, you want to start with a green, 3 brown, 4 green, then 2 brown, mangrove, 2 brown, green, brown, 2 green, and then you will end with 2 brown. The next row, you want to start with a gray, 3 green, 4 gray, green, a mangrove wood, 3 green, 4 brown, and then you should end with 1 green and 1 brown. Next row, you want to start with 7 gray, light blue, that was not a light blue, gray, mangrove, gray, light blue, gray, 2 green, and then I guess it'd be 3 brown and then another green. Next row, you can start with 5 gray. Correction, 6 gray. 3 light blue, mangrove, 3 light blue, gray, light blue, green, and then 3 brown. Next row, you'll actually start with 5 gray this time. I was just a row off. That's crazy. And then you're going to do 11 light blue, and then end with 3 green. 2 more rows. The next row will start with a light blue. You'll then have 3 gray, and the rest of the row will be light blue. And I will bring this polish shape so 1 higher just so it's at that top point. And then the final row is 2 light blue to start, a gray, and then the rest of the row is also light blue. Cool, that is one side. The next side we're going to do is the back. So again, I'm going to add the polished deep set on this opposite corner. You technically can do it after the first row, but I'm just going to add it now. And we're going to go right to left again, I guess, just since we worked I guess the opposite way of what I normally would. But anyway, this first row is going to just be entirely brown terracotta. Cool. The next row, you will start with 6 brown, 4 green, 3 brown, a mangrove, 9 brown, mangrove, green, and then you'll end with 3 brown. Next row, start with 4 brown, 2 green, 4 gray, 3 green, mangrove, I guess it'd be 8 brown this time. Green, mangrove, brown, and then 3 green to end. Alright, okay, yeah, I was like recalculating that. I was just a little bit confused. You'll start with 2 brown, 2 green. It was right though. Brown, 8 gray, mangrove, 2 green, 3 brown, 3 green, brown, mangrove, 4 brown. Next row, 2 green, 3 brown, then again the 8 gray, mangrove, 2 brown, 3 green, 4 brown, green, mangrove, green, 2 brown. Next row, start with 3 brown, 3 green, 7 gray, mangrove, green, 6 brown, 2 green, a stripped warped, mangrove, stripped warped, 2 green. Next row, you will start with 2 gray, green, 2 gray, stripped warped, 5 gray or 6? 6. Stripped warped, mangrove, gray, 2 green, 3 brown, green, gray, 2 stripped warped, mangrove, and then just 3 stripped warped. Next row, start with a green, gray, 5 stripped warped, gray, cyan, 3 gray, stripped warped, mangrove, warped, gray, warped, 3 green, gray, 3 warped, mangrove, and then you'll end with 3 warped again. Pretty much the rest of this wall is just stripped warped, although the little mountain here has to be brought up. So if you take this, kind of the cyan terracotta, I guess, you're going to start with the gray to the right of it, and extend it up with, ironically, a cyan to start, and then go left with 3 gray. The next row, you will start with the furthest right gray, and actually just bring each gray up by 1. And then you would have a gap of 1 going left of this, and then 2 cyan terracotta, kind of like that. Next row, you would bring the middle gray up by 1, and the block to the left you'd bring up with a cyan. The rest of the wall up to that height, you'll just fill in with stripped warped, which should be 3 rows. Of course, I was 1 short before on the polished deep set, now I'm 1 too tall. That's crazy. I don't think I said the thing yet. Hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I am for the most part. Just getting further on this tutorial. Gotta really finish this and FNAF World, which hasn't even been started yet, because gotta be in preparation mode. Anyway, the next wall, you want to, are we serious here? Yeah, we are. We're gonna take this polished deep set and extend it forward. Well, I guess we're gonna go right to left again if you're looking at it. You're gonna start with 13 brown terracotta, actually. That was not the right block. There we go. You'll then go 2 green, and then you should end with 4 brown. Again, still going right to left, you will start with 3 brown, 4 light blue, green, brown, 3 light blue, green, brown, 3 light blue, and then brown, green. It just had to be different. Next row, we'll start with 5 light blue, mangrove, 3 light blue, block of coal, and then the rest of the row is light blue. Yeah, next row, 3 light blue, 2 green, mangrove, brown, 2 light blue, 2 brown, green, 2 light blue, 2 brown, and then you'll end with 3 light blue. This wall is a lot more all over the place. You'll find that out very quickly if you haven't already. Next row, brown, green, mangrove, gray, mangrove, gray, green, coal, 2 brown, green, coal, 2 gray, 2 green, 2 brown, green. Next row, green, gray, mangrove, coal, mangrove, 2 gray, stripped warped, 2 green, 6 gray, 2 green, gray. Next row, 3 warped, whoopsies, there we go, 2 mangrove, gray, warped, coal, warped, gray, coal, then 5 gray, warped, gray, warped. Next row, 3 warped, mangrove, 2 warped, 3 coal, warped, 5 gray, and then 4 warped. Next row, 5 warped, 4 coal, warped, gray, coal, 3 gray, 4 warped. Next row, 2 warped, coal, 2 warped, 2 coal, whoopsies, 3 warped, coal, 2 gray, coal, gray, coal, and then 3 warped. Out of the 2 gray kind of between these coals at the top, the left one you'll extend up with a gray, and then the rest of that top row is just stripped warped facing up. Cool. On that note, the ceiling you can fill in entirely with black concrete, and you can get rid of everything else. This is in line with the black concrete would have placed at the end of the last part. And so, I'll deal with the hole or the rock on the ceiling later. I'll probably break that out on, like, again, what I have on the original. I gotta update a lot of stuff. I updated the coral, I remember that, but I didn't remember the spires, and I haven't done this, so, you know. Here's that. That is one thing nice about the tutorials, is I can go through and decide things that I feel like shouldn't be that way, that I could now update. Or alternatively, mistakes. Like, I don't think I fixed that black concrete in Finley's room. Anywho. that should give you this. And so, again, I'm going to do all the big rocks block for block and kind of show you that important stuff. And then for the actual just, like, rubble in general, like the piles of it, I'll just show you what I did and kind of explain the blocks, because it's not the same as they have been throughout this. Alright, you can start off by getting out the following. A birch trap door, andesite slabs and blocks, both. Diorite and polished diorite slabs and blocks each. And then with your 2 slots, we'll get out spruce fence and dragon eggs. Starting on the left wall, which would be the one we finished with. The third block up, just like next to the black concrete, you'll place a birch trap door open against. You can, I guess, immediately get rid of that trapdoor and get out stone slabs, which we're going to use for blocks here just because I want to get this particular rock done first. Kind of a gap of 1 behind that, you would place 3 stone blocks extending up. Where did that go? Okay, it's gone. It's down there. Behind that, you would have 2.5 tall. Behind the bottom of that, a dragon egg. Then I would place 4 diorite going back. And then I'm not going to explain some of these shapes perfectly, but it's kind of just like it just is something like that, you know? Just a little bit of like a cluster on the wall. I'll have a couple more dragon eggs around it, being 1 here, and then there'd be 1 on like a dirt block here, but I don't have the dirt, so. Behind that, starting immediately, you would have going back 4 andesite, and you'd have almost the same shape, except it's a little bit taller and it's kind of inverted. And it goes out more like that. That should be a slab, I think, yeah. Like that. To the right of this block that I'm actually highlighting, the second block over, I would have, I guess, 3 spruce fences going up, and I'd break the bottom one. I would go back diagonally right by 2 with that same thing. Only difference is this middle fence. The first one, you would bring up an additional one. But it'll look like this. And then from that end one, I would count right by 2 and forward 1 and do the same, making sure that it is 3 tall in total after you break the bottom. Like so. Beyond that or behind that, I have a basically just giant diagonal brick almost of andesite. If I'm the third block back from this end fence, I would go up with 2.5. And then I would just, it would be 2 diagonals up and left. And it would be just down to the right until it's a block and a half tall. 2 blocks tall, actually. So maybe I should shift that up a full block. Yeah, so it'll be like this instead. And then it would be at this part. I'm just going to keep it at the 2.5. Actually, I might just make it connect fully to the ground like that. Since it'll be covered by, again, dirt stuff. But I would maybe consider doing like a 2 block at all times. So it'd be this, then that, then slab there. Something like that. Or even if you wanted to go half a block thicker like so. It is 2 blocks deep as well. Just kind of giving you the idea of what this should be like. To the left of that, I would have a diorite rock that is actually floating, believe it or not. If I take, Ripley's believe it or not, if I take this block, I'll have an upside down slab maybe a block away. I'll have a diorite block behind it, which is actually what would be connecting down. And this one is kind of oddly cube-shaped, not cube-shaped, cylindrically shaped. Spherically, that would be more correctly accurate. A cylinder and a sphere are not the same thing. Something like that, though. I don't know. It's kind of hard because, again, a lot of it you'll see later. The only other really rocks that I feel like are important is there is a giant andesite triangle in the back right that is like 7 blocks tall. Yes, and then I would have maybe 2 more rows to the left that get a little bit shorter each time, maybe something like that. That is exactly what I have. Well, no, actually, I would have a slab here as well. I was a slab off from being correct. That's crazy. The middle row of that, I'll say I'll bring forward with 2 diorite, and then I'll extend left by 3 rows from both rows. I'd then bring the right side up by 2, up diagonally left, up 2, up diagonally left with slabs, Down diagonally, left with blocks. That is great. Left with slabs. Down with 2 blocks. Then upside down slabs. Right with blocks. Connect down and then just fill in the center. That one's pretty important. And then I do have like a polished diorite thing in front that I'm not going to crazy give you detail on, but it would just be something like this. On the right, again, not going to be really block for block, but I have, if you get rid of your diorite and get out granite slabs and blocks, I have in this front right-hand corner like an andesite rock, kind of here, and then I have a granite one behind it, and then another andesite one behind that. The first andesite one is like 5 thick, maybe, and then the granite would be 2. Well, actually, it'd be 1 at the bottom, and then the andesite here would be like another 2. But they're all kind of slanted up and back. So, like, if I were to take this one, I would go, like, something like this. And I'll make the top 3. Maybe I'll actually trim it by a block. And then the front row of it can kind of just be, like, shenanigans, you know? But I'll have it stick out, I guess, 3 blocks. Seems reasonable. And then the granite one would be just kind of right of it, and it would be, again, 2 blocks thick, maybe going up to this height, where I'd bring this out with a block, slab on top of that, right block, and then I would bring it all forward. I'll have to break that upside down slab. And then in front of that, I'd have an andesite block here, which is brought up with a slab, and then I would kind of go up and kind of across like this. Again, I'm not being fully accurate, but I'm just kind of trying to get the idea in your head. I'll show it to you on the other one in a second, so if you do want to copy it exactly, you will be able to. The only other thing that I really find important before we go over is you can clear your inventory and get out whatever you want to use for texturing with blood. I love netherrack and crimson nylium. Those are like my 2. You also need soul soil, snow, the layered version, and dark oak trapdoors. And I'll start from the door here in kind of the back right, and I will count over to the 5th dark prismarine. And then I'll count forward 2, replace this with the soul soil. I'll then count left 3 and back 1, dark oak trapdoor on the floor with 1 to the left. Singular snow layer in front with a soul soil in the ground in front of that. From that one, I'll count left 3, forward 2, another one, forward diagonally left, another one, gap of 2 going left, then 2 of your blood blocks going across. I'll just do alternate of these 2. The left one will be brought back by 2, and the right one will be brought back by 1. Cool. The other thing that I forgot to mention is the hole in the ceiling. If you take the back and you are in line with the like top of this mountain, you'll break both these blacks. Extend right, then forward, forward diagonally right 2, forward, forward diagonally left 2, left 3, back diagonally left, left 2, back diagonally left 2, back, back diagonally right, back, and then I'll break across and just kind of everything within this area to make a nice hole in the ceiling. I think I just broke an extra block, but it's fine. And I might find it not a terrible idea to put some sort of block on the top layer of this wall. I'm going to go with spruce wood, I think. Yeah, maybe polished basalt or something, but just kind of to give it like a top, essentially. And yeah, if you don't like that, you can actually just do what I did before, which is andesite blocks filling this in, and then upside down andesite slabs underneath. But yeah, now if I head over to the other version, I'm going to move my guy out of the way here. You can kind of see it is just a whole lot of dirt. And then I do have another rock over here, or like thing on the ceiling, but yeah, again, if you want to copy it, here it all is. You can try your best, but again, another room where I just kind of like, I got the big rocks in and then just said, nah, the rest is kind of not important. As long as I get just like the general idea, you know? Some couple deep slate stick of death over here for some reason. I don't know what that's from. You got the stripped oak wood stick of death as well. That's definitely a lot more sticky. Couple deep slate rock, a whole lot of texturing going back. Oh, that's filled with andesite. Oh, I don't really think that's supposed to be like that, but I guess you can't see it anyway, so who cares? A random black banner, another little diagonal rock. Again, you can kind of just get the idea here. If you were to copy this block for block, my suggestion would be get the perimeter of this bottom row done. And then from there, kind of just look and fill up. And you see there's like this portion, which is, I think, burnt? I don't remember. Burnt or wet, or something of that kind of nature. But yeah, once you get like one layer in, kind of looking at it, you're like, what is slab, what isn't? But once you really get one layer in, it'll kind of just, you can follow layer by layer, and as you build up, you'll understand how it works better. Because it isn't that hard to see once you get there, it's just getting there, that's the fun part. But, yeah. Apologies, I'm not doing all of this block for block. I think you can kind of understand why at the same time. I'd like to keep this under 80 parts, so, you know, we're gonna do our best to do that. But, yeah, that is all for that. So, we're gonna start this area. I'm probably just gonna lay out most of the walls. Well, actually, we'll probably do, like, half of it, and then we'll leave, like, this actual end part for, probably the beginning of next part. I don't think we're gonna be able to finish it all, but... yeah, let's start this section, shall we? Alrighty, so to start off, you want to get out the following. Magenta terracotta. White terracotta. Polished deep slate. Here's a fun one. Chiseled stone bricks. I don't know if I've ever used those in a tutorial, actually. Bamboo slabs. Or trapdoors, not slabs, sorry. Polished deep slate slabs. There's the actual slab. Black stone walls. And we'll just go with that for now. So heading through this doorway and looking back towards it, you want to take the third block on either side out from the doorway and extend it out with 9 magenta terracotta. Like so. You'll then extend either one in by 2, and then bring each magenta up an additional 1. On top of that, I'm going to place 4 rows of white terracotta, the top 3 connecting over this doorway here, which would make it a 2 by 3. That's my mascot horror way for some reason. Except for the playhouse in PPT3. I'm using 1 by 2 doors, or just like normal doors for that. Because the scaling of it in general is very small. Like, your head would hit the door if you jumped. Which I imagine would hurt. Anyway, floor you're filling in line with the polished deep slate with, believe it or not, polished deep slate. Ripley's Believe It or Not, part 2. And then the ceiling you're filling in with chiseled stone bricks. A block above the height of the walls. Or at least the walls we just made. Not this wall. Not the pixel art wall. There's another situation of the door being part of the pixel art, and you'll never guess I didn't add it, so yeah, it doesn't exist. It's just an opening. Sorry. Directing your attention to the other door in this room, which is this one, you want to place a row of black stone walls at the right half of it, which will extend kind of out by 1 away from the room. From the back left-hand corner, you want to, on this block, extend up with 4 bamboo trapdoors, all open towards the front. The first and third ones, which is the bottom and then the second from the top, you'll extend forward with 4 upside-down polished deep slate slabs each, and then in front of that, you can actually just copy that row of 4 bamboo trapdoors. This time they're open backwards, though. From this second trapdoor up, you're going to place 2 upside-down polished deep slate slabs from the front one extending back, and then just 2 regular slabs behind that to make the shelf look like it was, or got knocked off, or something like that. Similar thing from the front right-hand corner, you'll go up with 4 bamboo trapdoors on top of each other, open backward. This time, though, each of the bottom 3 you'll just bring back with 4 upside-down polished deep slate slabs, and then you'll have the bamboo trapdoors on the end. Cool. Let's lay out as much as we can of this next area, shall we? So if you go to the outside and look at the door from this angle, you should have 3 blocks, I guess, on either side. If we take the left side specifically, you want to extend over with an additional 6. Then you'll extend towards you by 4. And then I'm going to extend right by, which should be 14. Correction, 13 over. And it should line up with the kind of other end here. Not important that we do that, just I wanted to. But from there, you're going to extend that right an additional 7 magenta on this side. The side we've been bringing across. By that logic, the other you should bring across by 11. Which is correct. And then that end block of the 11, do we want to take that one? Yeah, sure. You want to extend towards you by 12. You'll then extend left 4, back 2, and if you check, you should be 4 blocks away, or correction, 5 blocks away from the magenta there. Then you will end up taking this end magenta here, and you will extend it left by 13. You would then pretty much bring that whole wall, or that whole row of magenta forward an additional row. Just like this to double layer it. If you check, you should have 6, 9, 12. You should have 13 blocks there, and you can count that. The kind of extra block here, this magenta, where it sticks out, you'll bring this block forward, and I guess the full row of 5, actually. And then from there, you would take the rightmost block and extend it forward an additional 11. Cool. From that point, you kind of want to bring this magenta all the way left until you're 3 blocks further than that. Well, I guess 4, actually. And then you would connect it all the way back from there into this row. And once you kind of connect or go across, you can just confirm that right there is 3 polished deep slate. Cool. And the other thing I would check is where you bring this magenta. If you look at the end here, you have 3 more blocks that are beyond it, and that is correct. That would mean everything should be done correctly, theoretically. Unless you made 2 mistakes, in which case, that's actually kind of more impressive than having it fully correct. I'm going to be so honest. We're doing the same thing with this area that we did to start this room. The 1 row of magenta on the walls, then the 4 rows of white terracotta, and then the ceiling and the floor. We'll have some areas we'll have to break in for detailing, but we're not worried about that just yet. Maybe we'll be able to finish this area. It's not a huge area, so it'd be nice to be able to just kick the rest of the train ride out. I mean, we should be able to regardless. Lloyd's room's not going to take that long. The only part that will is the armor stands. Which, they'll take a minute for sure. Because it's like 1,000 of them, not actually, but... One thing about armor stands is structure blocks don't remove them because they're entities. Kind of like painting. So if... I want to say I structure blocked the room because I had to move it over or something. And it just like duplicated every armor stand. It was fun. I remember some sort of... I don't know if it was specifically that, but I remember something that happened with the armor stands like that. That just doubled my count. And it was not really ideal. Maybe it was something with... this, who knows, or the moving it into this map. Anywho, there are the walls pretty much done, and again, do not forget the floor and the ceiling. Floor is polished cheapside, ceiling is chiseled stone bricks. That does not change. The height didn't, did it? Okay, I had to make sure. I know I was a little late on checking that one. But better late than never, I guess. Anything to note about this area? No. It says more dirt. I know you guys all love that. I guess tutorial is gonna be one of those that drags on, especially as we get like into the landing pad. It's one of those sections that's just gonna be awful. Although granted, it shouldn't be as bad. Well, I don't know. The orange and yellow might make me lose my mind. I think it's orange and yellow. I'm like pretty sure. I don't know. I guess it is better than the like multicolored that it was before. Oh lord, that is Finding Frankie, but actually better. The 3x3s are easier to place than the 1x1s. I guess the individual blocks. The individual blocks were awful. Yeah, I don't think this section is getting finished. We got 5 minutes, basically. I'll try to get up to the, like, this room here where I'm currently filling the ceiling. And then we'll just leave this for next part. The big room, which would be part 13, I think. I'm like pretty sure. Yeah, I'm positive actually. This is 12. A dozen. A dozen Ramblies. It's too many Ramblies, I think. Anyway, you should end up with this. Cool. You can clear your inventory, and again, to kind of start off with this hallway, you want to get out the following. Cobble deep slate stair. One singular stair. Lime terracotta. Yellow terracotta. Spruce trapdoors. Light blue concrete. Cobbled deep slate slab. I guess plural, no, I guess singular, yes. Sandstone walls. Stone slabs. And sea lanterns. So, starting from the beginning, there's actually nothing in this portion of the hallway that we are concerned with. So, kind of head around the corner and you would have, I'm sure most of you are familiar if you're aware or familiar with the game. In this little divot here, you have the Molly animatronic. You'll place a lime terracotta at the bottom here in the center. Yellow above, actually 2 yellow above. Off of that top yellow, you'll have a cobbled deep set slab in front with spruce trap doors off each side of the yellow, not the slab. Off of the lower yellow, you'll have a light blue concrete either side. And finally, off the lime, you would have a cobbled deep set stair facing into it. Probably should have placed that earlier, but hindsight is great, isn't it? Behind this, kind of like the top left corner, almost behind this trapdoor, you'd break this white, along with one up and one to the right of either of those two. And then another block up for fun. From the right block, or right row. Fill that in with sandstone walls. Every single gap we break here, you're filling with that, with sandstone walls. Moving to the right where the wall sticks out, a block over the bottom 3 white, you'll replace with sandstone. Gap of 3, and you'll basically do the same. There is some modifications to this one, though. The top 2 walls you'll extend right by 1 each, and the actual row of 3 you'll bring down an additional 1. P. All the way at the end of this wall, 1 block off of the end, you would just break a 3 block tall area from the floor, fill it with sandstone walls, and you do need a polished deep slate block in the floor. You can get rid of the sandstone walls, I think, now? Yeah. There aren't even any in the next area, so. Directing our attention back to the Molly little thing, you want to be a block off of the kind of front, or I guess the back left corner, and you'll be on this chiseled stone brick. Going right, place 2 upside down slabs, then 4 forward, 4 to the right, and then 3 back. You'll leave a gap of 4, I guess, counting right from that or along the hallway, and you'll break these center 3 chiseled stone bricks going forward and backward and replace them with sea lanterns. Ah, that's bright. Clear your inventory and get out the following slab and block version of each of these. Mangrove, prismarine brick, and waxed weathered cut copper. If you're looking down the hallway as I am, you want to direct your attention to the right wall. And in line with these sea lanterns off of the second magenta up, you'll place an opposite down mangrove slab. You extend it up with 3 planks and then another slab. That slab you'll bring all the way back with mangrove slabs as well. Below that row of slabs, you'll have a full row of prismarine brick slabs. It should be a half a block lower than it. And then the frontmost slab, or this, I guess, one closest to the mangrove, you'll bring down with 3 prismarine bricks. Same thing again from that, pretty much. You're taking the prismarine brick slab row and bringing it down with a row of waxed weathered cut copper slabs. And again, this frontmost one you'll bring down with 2 blocks and an opposite down slab as well. The dirt in this area is pretty simple. It's kind of just like... It's mainly along this left side here of this part. Like, you know, it's where the Molly statue is. It goes around. And there's also one in this back right corner, along with one at the end there. I will show you it as per usual. I'm just gonna get out of here. But yeah, so starting from this area, you can see here is the kind of corner below the pipes. Here is this wall in its entirety. And again, this one will be a lot easier to copy block for block than really any previous room, because it's pretty simple. And then here, okay, you got a little bit in this corner, I guess, my bad. And then you have a bunch back here with some holes, apparently. I think these are actually separate piles that are just connected. I'm pretty sure. I think that's why there's holes. I don't know. If you don't like the holes, you could do something like this, just to kind of make them less obvious, but still have it lower than these slabs. Or you could break into the floor. That's an option. But anyway, once you've done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is Indigo. I almost just said Poppy Playtime. Wow. Indigo Park, Chapter 1, Part 12 complete. Not Poppy Playtime. Next part, we're going to finish off the area that we're in, and we're going to hopefully finish off the rail track, actually, in general. And if we could start the gift shop, that would be cool, but I'm not entirely concerned about doing that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I will see you on the next one. Okay, I didn't need my emote anyway. It's fine. Bye.